All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We spend a massive amount of our time and energy crafting this flawless image for a completely invisible audience, and honestly, it's just exhausting. But what if the ultimate key to breaking out of this modern anxiety was actually written down thousands of years ago? Today, we're diving into some timeless Stoic wisdom that directly tackles this digital cage we've kind of accidentally built around ourselves. So, I want you to be completely honest for a second. Why did you delete your last post? Was it just not getting enough likes? Or maybe someone left a completely random comment that made you feel small? Or maybe you just felt a sudden wave of embarrassment for sharing something a little too real? Look, I totally get it, and there is absolutely zero judgment here, because let's face it, it happens to all of us. But it really forces us to look at an uncomfortable reality. Why do the judgments of totally anonymous people hold so much power over us? It's wild when you actually stop and think about it. We've basically signed up for this invisible slavery. We are handing over the power to totally ruin our day to absolute strangers, people who know absolutely nothing about the real you. They can make you second-guess yourself and literally erase a genuine piece of your life with a single swipe. When you lay it out like that, it's just not normal. We've completely externalized our self-worth to the gaze of others. Now, needing others is entirely natural, right? We're social creatures. Historically, seeking approval was just a basic, necessary signal of human connection and belonging. But somewhere along the line, that need tragically mutated into a full-blown addiction. Validation isn't a byproduct of connection anymore. It's become the entire goal. We're not sharing to connect, we're performing to get a hit of approval. It's metric chasing. And like any addiction, it gives you a quick rush of relief, but ultimately, it just makes you deeply dependent. Epictetus, the ancient Stoic philosopher, hit the nail perfectly on the head here. He reminds us with a clarity that honestly still stings today that it's not the things themselves that mess us up, but the judgments we form about those things. A stranger's opinion doesn't actually hurt you on its own. It only hurts because you've actively decided to give it weight. The real disturbance isn't the comment on your screen, it's the meaning you assign to it in your head. And realizing that is huge, because if giving it power was your choice, well, you can choose to take that power right back. And then Seneca takes it a step further. He drops this profound, incredibly blunt truth. He never trusted the crowd. Trusting a fickle, faceless crowd is literally like building a mansion on shifting sand. Any random storm can just wash it all away. He understood that the exact same digital mob that praises you today can and will turn on you tomorrow. If you hand them the keys to your happiness, they completely own you. Even Marcus Aurelius, a guy who was an emperor, arguably one of the most watched people on the planet at the time, knew this was a total trap. He had millions watching his every move, yet he realized that obsessing over fleeting fame and temporary followers is pointless. He tells us not to act like we're going to live 10,000 years. Fame won't follow you, followers won't follow you. We agonize over an identity that isn't even really ours, measuring our worth in numbers we don't even control. For what? Now, actually, let's pause and add a crucial bit of nuance here. The Stoics weren't saying we should just cover our ears, ignore the entire world, and become hermits. Not all criticism is unfounded, right? Helpful opinions definitely exist, and we need some feedback to grow. The real danger we're talking about isn't listening. It's delegating the very definition of your identity to other people. It's letting the crowd author who you are. So I really want to let this next question sink in for a minute. It's haunting, but it's the absolute core of our modern identity crisis. If every single one of your followers just disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? If your entire sense of self is tied up in how many people double tap your life, what happens when the screen goes completely dark? We've spent so long dressing, speaking, and posting for the crowd that we risk forgetting who we actually are when no one's watching. It's a tough pill to swallow, but if your worth is totally dictated by these digital metrics, you're just performing a character. You don't actually have an identity. You have a mask. And the biggest tragedy of all this, we've worn these masks for so long, just trying to please absolute strangers, that we've completely forgotten they are masks in the first place. This brings us to the ultimate Stoic mind hack, the dichotomy of control. It's brilliantly simple. You have things you absolutely do not control, like the opinions of random strangers on the internet. That's just external noise. But then you have the things you do control. You control your response, you control the weight you give those opinions, you control whether or not you let them ruin your mood. Once you separate those two, you stop agonizing over the noise and take absolute command over your own internal world. Just think about the Cynic philosopher Diogenes. The guy famously lived in a literal barrel. Now, he didn't do this because he hated nice things. He did it to prove a massive point. True freedom isn't about having more. It's about needing less. Specifically, needing less external approval. His entire radically authentic life was a statement against public validation. Now, obviously, we're not saying you should go move into a barrel, but Diogenes proves that living unburdened by the crowd's judgment is incredibly liberating. So how do we actively reclaim our sovereignty today? It starts with stopping this desperate need for strangers to define us. You have to cultivate such strong internal coherence that you don't even need the applause. You should seek to be worthy of being liked because of your authentic actions, not because you're performing. It's about being able to look in the mirror at the end of the day and genuinely approving of your own actions, whether someone double-tapped them or not. All right, let's break down exactly how to dismantle this self-built invisible prison, brick by brick. First, you have to actually recognize the mask you're wearing for the crowd. Call it out. Second, you have to ruthlessly separate the metrics from what you actually control. Likes and comments, not in your control. Your reaction, 100% yours. And third, shift your focus. Stop seeking digital validation and start prioritizing your own internal approval. The key to the cell door has literally been in your hand the whole time. You really don't have to escape the world or delete every app on your phone to be free. True freedom isn't about escaping the opinions of others. It's simply about not needing them anymore. The power the crowd has over you is power you willingly handed to them, which means you can take it back right now. So I'll leave you with this final thought for today's explainer. Will you drop the mask? Thanks so much for joining me today.